Hello, everybody, and welcome to MLG TV. We're in the middle of an exciting series here. This is out of MLG Raleigh, Pool C. You're looking at none other than StarTale Trickster. He is currently actually down one game
Yes, he
to
is.
none other than Liquid TLO. So I'm Tumba, co-casting with me will be Darkenedlight. Darken, TLO taking a game off of Korean. Quite impressive.
And I have to say, I mean, you can. It's impossible not to be a TLO fan, but I'm even more of a TLO fan now. His play was so impressive last game. His unconventional tactics really work out for him. I love the Raven play in particular. You do not see that enough. And we saw how it worked out for him last game, as well as that Hellion in the bunker with his drops. So impressive out of TLO, and he was able to take the game as a result. So I look forward to seeing what he opts for, as well as what Trickster chooses in this game on Tal'Darim Altar. I expect a longer game, or at least a more base-heavy game, as a result of this huge macro map.
Of course, in the last game, during the beginning portion of the game, we touched on a little bit about the 1-1-1 build being so popular. We'll not have to worry about a 1-1-1 all-in on Tal'Darim, as it's a very, very long map, and you can see they have spawned at cross position. So as you said, not that it matters, because TLO, man, who knows what? He could come up with some new strategy on the fly.
I don't see TLO 1-1-1ing. That's way too standard for TLO.
Yeah, so I will be very interested to see exactly what he's got in store for Trickster. He's got to feel good, man. Taking that first game always feels good. You know, I think he feels healthy. He looks healthy now. And you can see, actually, Trickster with a bit of a wall off here on Tal'Darim.
Standard out of him.
Yep.
In that gas behind that. Probably going to be looking for an early-ish expand behind that. But you never, again, Trickster, he's pretty unpredictable as well. He has quite creative play. He obviously used to be Tester back in the beta, really distinguishing himself then with some really interesting strats for Protoss. Looks like TLO will just be getting that gas himself, and we'll have to see what he opts for. Could be some factory play, additional Hellions. I know he likes that a lot, especially on this map. But some early Rax play would not surprise me at all either.
I have to reference Next Sickness. Really coming out with a lot of cool play, inspiring play out of Protoss. Really innovational stuff. I think that gaining more and more popularity now as a player. And I can't wait to see, what he brings in the future. Hopefully we get him to an MLG, or he makes Code A, or, eventually Code S. But I've seen a lot of great cool play out of him. It's great to see Protoss innovate, because I feel like it's something that Reese needs to do.
In my opinion, the two best kind of games when casting or just watching them are games where both players are so even and they're just battling it out to get the victory, or they're innovating and doing really cool new strats. It always excites me so much, and that is why I love StarCraft. Always evolving, always seeing new stuff coming out from these players.
Absolutely, and for some reason, Darken, I just can't get my units to work the same way as MCs or Tricksters. I don't get it, man. I don't understand.
There's some magic touch, to say the least.
Yeah, they got. I'm gonna blame it on equipment. Maybe I need some new equipment. I don't know, but you're gonna see this Zealot getting riddled with bullet holes right now.
Yeah, nice micro again on TLO. He's chasing that Zealot down with those Marines moving around boxer style, so they do not kill off those Marines. We'll be taking that out with ease. Should be getting good scout off, though. We'll see that factory in Trickster. I'd say that Zealot paid for itself, despite the fact that it was taken out without a single unit killed.
Absolutely. He was trucking into that main, man. He wanted to see what was going on as he was getting popped. The first couple of bullets tickled, but once those shields were gone, he wasn't thanking him for that, I can tell you.
These two players, not a fan of expanding. They like their one base, to say the least. Looks like TLO will once again be opting for early Hellion tactics, this time following it up with 2 additional racks to make it 3 in total. Interesting play to him. I look forward to seeing how that plays out. Possibly looking to get some light mech with a lot of bio support and early timing out of him. I'd like to see a lot of that, or just some multi-pronged attacks. In the meantime, Trickster will be getting that Robo down and a gate to follow it up. We'll be sticking to 3-gate Robo build, and I know you're a big fan of this. What do you think of this build, Trickster?
I think it's very safe, pretty standard. I think that it gives you a lot of great options out of the Robo. Of course, you've got the Marauder, you've got the Immortal to deal with any heavy Marauder play, as well as the Critical Observer, which you really need, because Terran have so many great openings and so many good ways that they can go, that Observer really allows you to get the information required to properly counter. And you can see now TLO throwing down 2 tech labs and a reactor on his barracks.
Yeah, this is odd. This is shaping up to be a 3-Rax timing, obviously so popular in the lower leagues of StarCraft 2. You don't see it too much in the pro-level games. But
which is why I think it could work, actually.
Yeah, especially because he did fake it out with that Hellion. It's not going to look at all like a 3-Rax build to Trickster unless he scouts this. The Observer is moving out, but it'll be some time before it reaches that cross-position base of TLO, so there is that at the very least, but yeah, just not. It's going to be close. I look forward to seeing how this one plays out.
And you can see Trickster really loves his Stalkers. Another great unit, very fast unit. Coupled with Blink, it's hard to kill what you can't catch. Yeah. So I don't know about the choice in the first game, as you stated. Really, you see more Blink Stalker play versus Zerg than you do versus Terran, typically. So obviously not going to be opting for that same Blink opener here on Tal'Darim. I think he wants to go for more of a traditional Death Ball unit composition, but we'll have to see exactly what shakes out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, he's sticking to one base. No Immortals out just yet, but he is throwing down that Twilight Council. No, he will cancel it. So, interesting choice out of Trickster that I look forward to seeing what he chooses. Instead, he's going to be opting for that Immortal coming out of that Robo facility now, and he did scout this force coming out from TLO, and he really needs to defend this as soon as possible. This could do quite a bit of damage, but I feel like the force of Trickster with a few additional Warpins should be enough to hold it off.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Right now, TLO should feel pretty comfortable.
This is so smart by TLO, actually. He's looking to pull the army out onto the map with that small force of Marines and Marauders as he swings into the main with the Hellions, but it looks like it will not work out for him moving in with those Hellions now, but they will be repelled by the force of Trickster with ease. Not the best time out of TLO, and it will look like it's looking pretty bad for him, but he's pushing in. Will snipe a sentry as he pushes in, stimming those Marines and those Marauders, but he is going to be forced back there.
Of course, the sentry is the exact target that you want to prioritize when you're fighting against Protoss, because that's key. It's clutch for them. They have to get those force fields off. Guardian shields, and they're extremely gas heavy too. Very expensive at 100 gas a piece. So if you can burn down a couple sentries, that makes your job a lot easier. You know, you had to mention, you mentioned earlier how much you love watching these matchups. I feel like TVP matchups are so very exciting to cast and watch as a fan, simply because you see clutch EMPs going down, clutch force fields going down, great micro, drop play.
Just amazing stuff in this matchup. I love it so much. I'm not a Terran or a Protoss player, but still, it's one of the best matchups to spectate as far as I'm concerned.
And I like this again out of TLO going ahead. He feigns a little bit of pressure. When he saw that the multi-prong attack wasn't exactly going to work out in his favor, he beat it home and is going to defend a little bit.
He's going to expand, and he's going to actually get that expansion up ahead of his opponent. He saw that his opponent was in fact sticking to a one-base build himself, so he knows that he can easily expand without worrying about the repercussions of opening with an all-in style play.
You know, I gotta say, Trickster's patience is both impressive and concerning to me. A Forge now going down, obviously for upgrades, and I have to say that I feel like Trickster is being so overly patient that I have to worry about unit composition for him a little bit. As we get, it's 11 minutes in, there's no indication of either Templar or Colossus, which he's obviously going to need at some point.
Yeah, he's so low tech in these games, only now getting that upgrade from that Forge, sticking to Immortal Tech, very QE cocky style, which I'm not opposed to, but he's only now getting that Nexus up, and as a result, he's going to be really far behind in the economy game. As we can see, TLO with his 2 bases mining and those mules is significantly ahead in the economy, about 500 minerals per minute ahead of his opponent. He is possibly even looking to get his 3rd base, but look at this, he's actually going to be getting a couple ghosts on the field, and do you see what's researching at that Ghost Academy, Tumba?
Well, you know what? I don't, but I can tell by your inference that it's going to have to be a nuke. And certainly, actually, the nuke is almost finished, and I could hear it in your voice, Darken, because I heard that little bit of excitement out of you. So
I love me some nukes, I can't lie to you.
Yeah, and you know what's very popular is to go ahead and nuke the mineral line of the natural expansion for Protoss. This is not an easy thing to do by any means, but it is exposed that it's very doable, and you can kill a lot of probes with this.
He hopes to attack at the front, force the army back with the nuke possibly, or even get the hit off, but I feel like Trickster will be well prepared for this. Actually getting a few Stalkers cut out of position, nice EMP on those, but it looks like they will be able to escape, despite that. Looking
well, here we go.
Here comes the nuke. Yeah, he's moving in now.
The nuke is coming.
That army back. He's trying to make sure that they engage at that nuke. They're going to be forced back. Seeing that, this is really a smart play by him, getting positioning with that nuke. Probably going to end up canceling that though.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of people just knee-jerk reaction, sort of pull probes, and just in case. But you saw a Trickster there playing it cooler than the other side of the pillow. Did not want to go ahead and pull his probes. Did not want to waste any mining time. Wanted to make sure that you know, he doesn't lose a second of any type of edge, because like you said, 2 players in TVP always battling to find that edge, that critical edge, And missed some EMPs there. TLO missed some critical EMPs
yeah,
early
not the
on.
best EMP. Obviously, the Stalkers are able to escape very quickly against that Marine Marauder force unless they're stimming a lot, in which he obviously does not want to be doing with this low medevac. Looks like he is going to be scanning, looking to possibly move in here. Nice spread by Trickster. And here he goes, moving in, stimming, trying to make something happen. No EMPs just hit. Nice EMPs on those Immortals. Looks like he will be able to focus one down. There he goes. But I just think the Knight, really nice force field out of Trickster. I feel like it's a little too much for TLO.
Oh.
He invested a lot into this composition, and it's not working out for him now.
Yeah, and Colossus on the field now. So like I was saying, I was very concerned for the amount of time. It's 14 minutes in, and he got his first Colossus out, but he's been just fine with his gateway units. I can only imagine he's going to be that much stronger than he is a Colossus.
Out of Trickster, he definitely, those force fields changed that battle, and we see how it worked out for TLO. Now this Colossus is on the field. It is a game changer, and TLO has to start making Vikings to deal with that. As a result, you definitely have to react to those Colossus, or you're going to be in very bad shape in almost every battle.
Absolutely. I feel like about 2 minutes ago, Trickster had no way to end the game. Sure, he could hold, but it would take superior micro, obviously, and a little bit of luck to hold as TLO has such a supply lead. So I feel like he needed that critical unit, either the Templar tech or, of course, Colossus, good old reliable. Now that he has that, as you said, this could be a table flip moment, if you will, and trying to turn the tables here on TLO.
TLO sitting up on light contain here, actually stimming a Marine in, trying to deny that expansion for as long as possible. He will kill off that probe, and here he goes, moving in possibly. No, he will pull back as he sees those Colossus there, but he's going to probably look to push in here, trying to make something happen, but he will be forced back once again by the forces of Trickster. Just does not have the force to deal with this Colossus count that we're seeing. One down. Here comes the second one out of Trickster.
Well, Bio just melts so very quickly to those Colossus, and having spent about a week playing Terran here recently for a little more perspective on what's going on with the race, I could say, and hold that thought, here we go, Guardian Shield popped down, and we can see two Colossus now doing major work. TLO trying to spread his units out as much as possible to keep them alive for as long as possible. Medevacs trying to keep up the resilience. He's moving in here, is able to snipe one Colossus, another Colossus about halfway down, but he's in a lot of trouble right now as Trickster's got the supply lead and is on the move toward his base.
He's sniping a few of those medevacs, will be forced back by that small Marine Marauder force eventually, but really not looking good right now for TLO, but he does get the snipe off on that Colossus critically with one Marauder. Wow.
Yes, he does, and you can see right now he's going to go ahead and re-engage here. Zealot doing work, and actually, you know what? Things looking worse and worse at the moment, I think, for TLO as this other Colossus hits the field, and there's really nothing to deal with this. I'm checking in TLO's base. I'm going to see if he has any Vikings out. I don't believe he does, so this is critical right now. TLO is on the back foot for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing everything he can to pull back into this game, getting his third base now. Mining, he's got that ahead at the very least, but this Colossus count, he has not reacted perfectly to it just yet. Not many Vikings on the field at the moment. I really like that small move with the Marauder to snipe off the one Colossus. So, I mean, again, he's trying to make something happen. He does have the supply lead, so he's certainly not out of this game yet, but he really needs to react to these Colossus as soon as possible.
Well, TLO now building a fourth command center right on cue. Is researching Mobius, which will, of course, Mobius Reactor allows his ghost to come out with a little more energy.
And as these Dark Templars hit the field, I would expect some High Templar follow-up pretty soon as well. Those EMPs will become more and more important. Of course, they already are quite important. Getting the EMPs off on those sentries can be huge, as well as just doing a lot of damage to those Protoss shields as soon as the battle begins. You
know what I've noticed is a lot of players also using EMP for detection, and I think that's the coolest, is when they go ahead and...
Yeah, it's hard to do, though.
It is hard, that's what's cool about it.
And not actually accidentally EMPing your own ghosts. It's very difficult.
Right, but I love that play. I think it's very smart play. It's ingenious, and if you're out of scans, you don't have a Raven, there's no way to detect, you know, if you have to resort to it, resort to it. I think that's great.
Quite true. Yeah, looks like we do have a drop coming in the right side of the map. Scanning to make sure there's nothing there to scout that, and there's quite a bit of damage. It looks like Trickster's army is possibly posturing to move out. No, it will stick to that position between the natural and the third base. TLO going to be dropping those units down near that third base and looking to move in and possibly try to get a Nexus snipe as he moves out on the map with the rest of his force.
Oh, this is great. Two-prong attack, as you can see right now. Big stim going down is going to start firing off on this Nexus now.
Genius play by TLO.
Absolutely.
He pulled the army out with his one force that was obviously spotted by the unit at the Zelnaga Tower by Trickster, and as a result, he will get that Nexus snipe. So impressive by TLO, really playing a lot of mind games in this game. In the meantime, he will push into the natural, but will be forced back by that force of Trickster. And Trickster, he's down to 2 base now. He has to make something happen pretty soon, or he's going to fall inevitably behind as this game goes on.
But I think Trickster knows that, so I feel like Trickster wants to make a push here to inflict some damage. I think that Trickster knows with the Nexus snipe that he has to make something happen here. He has to assume that TLO has expanded behind that attack.
Yeah, and he does have a DT there harassing that 3rd base, so he is indeed quite aware of that. Going to be looking to set up his 4th as well. And just the investment of these bases could be what undoes TLO here. He did lose a lot of medevacs earlier on when that first push was forced back, and he's been making medevacs a lot as a result. And as a result of the medevacs he has, not many Vikings on the field, and he really needs those to deal with this Colossus Death Ball that we're seeing shape up out of Trickster.
Well, it's such a seesaw battle in terms of supply. It's been back and forth the whole game. TLO's had the lead. Trickster's retaken the lead. They've equalized. Of course, here we are. It's equalized yet again. A lot of gateway units out, which I like to see, including an Archon, because that keeps your Colossus nice and safe, especially when there's a low Viking count.
The Trickster actually staying very active with these DTs, harassing all the bases as long as possible, but finally TLO will positioning a Marauder there at the 3rd to deny that, but in the meantime there is another DT there, and as a result of all this harassment, he's been able to keep the SCV count of his opponent low, keep the mining low, as these SCVs are forced to be pulled to deal with it, but looks like TLO, he's looking to push to make something happen here, possibly going to be engaged in this army. He may be caught out of position.
Yes, he could. It looks like he's going to be, no, not caught out of position, actually. He is able to go ahead, but great force field's going down, and Charge Lot's making quick work of the front lines of those Marines. You can see more
nice CMPs though go down, forcing all the energy to go away on all of those sentries and as well as a lot of the shields. And it looks like though Trickster just has too many Colossus again. No Vikings out of TLO. He just did not have the force to deal with this specific composition out of Trickster.
Yeah, and look at that Archon out in front. The Archon, of course, soaking up so much damage as well, being able to tank too. Yeah, good point, Darken. I don't think he's going to be able to deal with these Colossus, and this push looks like it's probably going to win him the game.
He's desperately trying to get Vikings out, but it may be too little too late at this point. A lot of these barracks units are so low on health that Archon will do tons of damage as well as those Colossus to those red and orange Marauders and Marines, and despite that he has a couple Vikings hitting the field, he's not going to be able to spread his units out enough to defend his many bases.
No, and 2 DTs are going to catch these Marines and Marauders off guard to the right of the map, as he is going to stim and try to get away because he knows he has to keep his unit count as cost efficient as possible. Oh, great move by the Stalker to take out a Viking, and he's going to move right into this 4th, excuse me, and that'll force a GG out of TLO. We're going to an ace match.
Yeah, again, TLO, he had the lead for so long there, had the base count lead, but the constant harassment with those DTs as well as the fantastic composition that TLO just didn't react to out of Trickster was enough for him to secure that game. Very well played by him.
Well, it's sort of a weird game in terms of, on the surface, it looked very simple as, okay, I'm going to get Colossus because obviously I need a higher tech. And you would expect TLO to say, okay, well, I'm going to get Vikings. Like, that's typically what you see. But what people don't appreciate in these games is the mind games that go on. There's certain mind games that these players are doing because they know each other's style to manipulate them. So obviously there was a reason that TLO went ahead and wanted to go expand more. He wanted to get a higher economy and maybe bring it into a battle of attrition, I feel, because that would be the only other reason I would kind of think why he would forgo all those Vikings.
Well, the big reason as well was in that first push when he was forced back by the Stalker force of Trickster, he lost a lot of medevacs, and you want to be making medevacs to keep that army alive for as long as possible. When there's Colossus on the field, you can't comfortably make medevacs because you have to worry about that heavy Colossus count. But he just didn't make the Vikings, and he didn't really make a lot of medevacs either, so really indecisive out of TLO. He really needs to choose the tech that will counter his opponent. You cannot just let Colossus have free reign without countering them. They devastate you, to say the least.
I think he kind of suffered what Trickster did in the first game, a little indecision, because it sort of looked like Trickster was a bit late to get on his horse, and even in this game, again, a bit late to get on his horse to get to his tier 3 tech, but I'm super excited to get into this third game. Let's head over the ace match. What do you think, Darken?
Let's do it.
All right, man.